Hello and welcome to Unboxing Your Wonders 2023 Samples. My name is Brandon Harvey and I'll be your guide through this video. And I want to welcome our first grade friends to taking a look at the first grade sample box for Wonders. Now, once you pull the box out of the brown shipping box, it will look like this. And you'll see a little flap here that you can just lift up and it pushes right on down and you get a nice little header, and so you know that it's first grade. Now, there might be some shipping materials or some additional paper packed in there. Feel free, you can take that out. And I want to let you know that this box is organized really into two sides. You have one side that is your teacher resources and materials, and the other side that are your student resources and materials. And as you're going through the box, I also want to let you know there's a great little informational card or face right here to your box. It says explore the sample box, and it really identifies some of the key resources that you'll find and gives you a quick snapshot, a quick summary of what they are and how they can benefit you and your students. Now, not only do we want you to evaluate Wonders print, but also we know how important it is to know the digital. And so you will see down here at the bottom of the box, there is a URL where you can log on, request a free trial, a sample demo, if you will. There's even a QR code. If you just want to scan your phone, it'll take you right there to that site. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin unboxing and taking a look at the materials that are in your first grade sample box. I'm going to start over here on the teacher side, and we're going to pull out our teacher's edition. Now, this is just one of your 6 teacher's edition. This is unit 3. And kind of mid-year of first grade, if you want to explore the various other units, I would definitely want to make sure I have that digital demo. And the other nice thing is that with the big books, the leveled readers, all of the various materials we're going to explore, it's all centered around Unit 3, Week 1. So all of the different tools are really allowing you to see the assessments and the resources that support Unit 3, Week 1. However, you have, of course, access to all of the various units and weeks. Now, when I turn my teacher's edition sideways, you're going to see some colored tabs. This blue tab is giving you all of your reading and writing for those 5 weeks of instruction, because each unit is organized into 6 weeks, 5 weeks of instruction, and then that 6th week is a review, extend, and assess opportunity. Also, once per unit, you're going to have an extended writing opportunity. And so that's this green tab. So back in the back of your teacher's edition, you will see a extended genre process writing with very detailed explicit instructions. And then remember that week 6 that I was just talking about, that's that red tab, right? To review, connect, and assess. Now, before you get into it and before you even go to that first tab, I will let you know that there are some really good informational pages right in the front, and that gives you a good overview of the curriculum, some of the features that you'll see within Wonders, and of course things you'll see in your teacher's edition. Could be very, very helpful to read those first. And in the very back, behind that red tab, you will also find a full first grade scope and sequence as well. So in the back of every unit teacher's edition is a scope and sequence. All right, let's continue to take a look at some of the additional resources. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a chunk here. Oh my goodness, now this one is my favorite. This you definitely want to read, known as your Instructional Routines Handbook, right? Everything within Wonders is research-based and grounded in the science of reading. That research-based that lets us know how students read and write. But what this does is takes that research into classroom practice, right, to maximize those instructional minutes that you have. So this is a K-5 book, so you will see things that are very targeted to first grade for phonemic awareness, phonics, high-frequency words, but also for reading and writing support. Lots of good corrective feedback, teacher tips right here in your Instructional Routine Handbook. So this is definitely a must-read. Probably my favorite thing in the whole box. Also for first grade, you have a genre ReadAloud anthology. This just gives you additional read-alouds that you can use at any time. Also though, remember that red tab, that review, connect, assess. This is when this tool will actually be explicitly called for and used. But again, lots of read-alouds in here. Use them at any time. Now, I mentioned that your teacher edition has everything for whole group and small group instruction. And one of those small groups you might be meeting with are your English language learners. And so what we did is created this ELL small group guide. So it's flexible enough for push in or pull out instruction. But this guide gives you instruction for every core text that students are reading within a week of instruction and gives you an English language learner lesson plan written at 3 different stages of language acquisition. Also remember that green tab, that extended writing. This also has EL supports for that extended writing opportunity as well. So if you have multilingual learners in your classroom, I would really highly encourage you to take a look at your EL small group guide. Another group that you might have in your district or in your classroom are newcomers, students with very limited English proficiency. And so this is a teacher guide with lesson plans that support the use of that high utility basic sort of survival language. There are lesson cards that go with these lesson plans, and online for your students are newcomer games and newcomer visuals. All right, I'm going to continue to pull out a few more resources on this side, and I'm going to see my assessment sampler. There is again an assessment sampler for your progress monitoring assessment. That's your weekly assessment for Unit 3, Week 1. You have your Unit 3 unit assessment, as well as benchmark assessments in here. Again, if you want to see the full range of first grade assessments for the whole year, I would encourage you to, again, get that digital demo account. You'll even see a program overview. This is a great guide, just gives you a high level. You might even want to read this first around everything that Wonders is all about. And of course, Wonders has success and efficacy to back it up. So there is a success and efficacy brochure here that has district level data that you're going to see district testimonials, also third-party evaluation in here that I think is really, really powerful, that Wonders does work in the classrooms. And of course, we just mentioned EL instruction. Here's an EL guide that really overlays everything that we provide in print and online, whole group and small group, to support our English language learners. And then you're going to see your grade 1 classroom resources. This really nice thick brochure gives you an opportunity to see all of the hands-on cards and manipulatives that bring our lessons to life. And that includes our center activity cards. Now, these are reduced size. It does say that. These are not as big as they really are in real life. But what I like is you have blue center cards for reading activities. Green is going to be for writing. And red is going to be for phonics word study. And the front of the card is an anchor chart, which you could project and that you could use for instruction. And the back of every center activity card are multiple activities that students can be doing while you're at the teacher-led small group table. In addition to center activity cards, you're going to see a sample of our sound spelling cards. Again, a reduced size, and the back of the card that has additional instruction. Photo card example, even of course, are visual vocabulary cards that you have for oral vocabulary, high frequency word vocabulary, even academic vocabulary as well, that has that routine right there on the back of the card. A sample of your high frequency word cards and interactive read aloud cards, a visual on the front, and then of course the story on the back with that routine for introducing oral vocabulary to your students. You'll even see a sample of retelling cards. These retelling cards are connected to the leveled readers. And so there is modeled and guided retelling, even EL strategies right there on the back. So a range of hands-on manipulatives. There's a bulleted list here in the back that you can use for whole group or small group instruction. And of course, not only is everything in print, everything is digital as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of these resources back for the next person who wants to review this sample box. So lots of wonderful tools for you to take a look at. Also a lot of good information for you to read. I can't stress enough, take a look at that instructional routine handbook. Now, let's move over to the student side of our sample box. And the first thing you're going to see right there is a key student tool. This is your interactive consumable student edition, known as a reading writing companion. And these are organized by unit. So this is your unit 3 reading writing companion for the student. It's also fully digital with audio supports on it as well. But you can see that it begins with listening and speaking, centering and building background information and oral vocabulary around our essential question. Remember, everything in the box is for Unit 3, Week 1, which is all about time and how do we measure time. We're setting goals, opportunities for students to take agency of their own learning. And then we have that shared read. So immediate application of those explicit foundational skills right here through a decodable text, where students are reading with a pencil, right? Circling and underlining, drawing a box around those sound spellings and looking for those high frequency words as well. And then opportunities to go back and reread that shared read. These are my skill and strategy mini lessons all right here. The graphic organizer that students can cite or draw pictures of evidence all right here in their companion. I don't have to run anything off. And opportunities really when we're rereading for teaching and modeling those DOK level 2 and 3 skills and questions. Writing and grammar is integrated. This is a reading writing companion. So really detailing like how do we respond to text. So we're going to first model that with a student model. And then again, as we move deeper into the week from the shared read to our anchor text. So again, following a close reading routine, it's color-coded, it's red, it's green, it's blue, citing evidence as we reread our anchor text. And then finally, again, opportunities to write about that anchor text. And paired selections are also included. So you have your main read, but paired selections, and those are not only in print for students, but also right here as activities for them to circle, draw. Again, very multimodal learning opportunities as we talk, as we draw, as we collaborate. Research and inquiry projects are built in each week that can be done collaboratively. And as we wrap up that sort of close reading routine and integrate our knowledge and ideas, we're making connections to science, social studies. This one happens to be to a poem, and even culminating tasks. If you like project-based learning, there are show your knowledge tasks as well. Now don't forget that in the back, the green bordered pages support that extended genre process writing that you're going to have once every unit. Again, walking through all, this is really a springboard for planning, drafting, edit, revising, that again is a springboard from the explicit instruction that's in your teacher's edition. And then the red pages, part of that spiral review that connects to content, that opportunity to review what I've learned within the particular unit. All right, so a very key tool right there, print and digital online with full audio. You'll also see some examples of the authentic literature. There's actually a lovely little brochure that details the authentic literature that's within Wonders, and this comes in the form of your literature collection. Now, in units 1, 2, and 3 for the first half of the year, it's in a soft cover literature collection, right? And so I would use this for just 5 weeks. This is an example from Unit 1. So you get to see the nice range of literature. And then in the second half of the year, we move to a hardcover, but this has Units 4, 5, and 6 in it. So again, you can see the anchor text, that rich, authentic literature, as well as the paired selections. Now, I want to go back to that literature anthology brochure because not only do I see information about authentic text, I also want to let you know that there are 24 classroom trade books available for first grade as well. And you can see a listing of those first grade trade books, the authors, and the titles right there in that brochure. Speaking of literature, you'll also see, I'm kind of going back to the very back, you see it popping out here, and it's a reduced size, but an example of the big books that you'll have in first grade that are used for interactive read-alouds, building that listening comprehension. So here again, this is the big book. It's a reduced size big book that goes with Unit 3, Week 1, and that sits right there in the back of your sample box. Also back here, you're going to see a little plastic sleeve that has information about the leveled reading resources within first grade. So first, you want to get an overview of how Wonders uses leveled text and differentiated text in a very unique and maybe different way than you're used to. So that's a good information there. You'll see a sample of the Unit 3, Week 1 leveled text that are used. Now, they are color-coded, so easy to know the levels. So orange is approaching, blue is on level, green is beyond level, and purple, you'll notice, is the exact same title actually as the blue, but the purple is an English language learner version. So it has a language development, supports vocabulary, additional labels that support a language learner. Now, not only do you have those easy to follow colors, but I also want to let you know, if you turn the back, I'm going to fan these out, that on the back of every leveled reader, you will also see the Fontes and Pinnell guided reading levels, DRA benchmark levels, and Lexile levels. Now, something also that's unique, this comes from a different unit and week, but you will see what we do with non-fiction titles. Some weeks are fiction and some weeks are non-fiction, and when it's a non-fictional or informational text, you will notice that it's the same topic differentiated 4 different ways. So truly equity of voice, equity of access to those science and social studies topics. Also in this clear plastic sleeve is a sample of the leveled reader lesson cards. Now, there are leveled reader lessons in my teacher guide, but this gives you a different lesson plan. And these might be shrink wrapped, so feel free to open up the shrink wrap if you're the first person to look at the box. But these grab and go leveled reader lesson cards really begin by detailing what makes the text complex. And then you're going to see the guided instruction around those different qualitative nature of the text. And when we turn it over to the back, if we read about it, we are writing opportunities, even with our small group differentiated readers. And again, unique to Wonders is that every leveled text not only has the main read, but also has a paired read as well. And so there is a lesson plan for the paired read. So all of that goes in the clear plastic sleeve to give you a good sample understanding of the leveled reading resources. Now, of course, if you want to see the full range of leveled text for your grade level or beyond all grade levels, you can again get that digital demo access code. And finally, the last thing I see here is my practice. This is a practice blackline master. So this is just one for the teacher. And you as a teacher can make copies or print from online, or you can go completely paperless, because you could assign any of this practice to a student. They can do the practice digitally on any device and then submit it back to you. But this does denote all of the different types of practice, from phonemic awareness, phonics, spelling, high frequency words, grammar, even take-home stories. So again, you'll have the full year here if you want to look at it, but if you want to pull it all together with Unit 3, Week 1, you can actually see those practice pages. Now, again, I mentioned the scope and sequence that is in the back of your first grade teacher edition, but do know that it's also in the very back here as a standalone scope and sequence for the full year of first grade. So I'm going to put my student resources back, so I have the full year right there of that practice book. I've got my leveled reader resources there, the authentic trade literature here as some samples, and of course that main student edition, my interactive consumable reading writing companion, goes right there in the front. So thank you so much for coming along the journey with me as we unbox our Wonders 2023 samples for first grade. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, and don't forget to again check out the digital access as well. Thank you so much and have a great day.